Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We are back here in. Oh shit. My bad. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I gotta love technical difficulties. Welcome to the Inters Racing League. I'm your commentator, Gonzalo, and we're back. The season is upon us, and we're here. Round one. It is a very, very wet Canada, and it's going to be the great place to start for Tier 1. Headlines up and down the paddock. One of them being that Yusuf is actually taking a back seat this season, and won't be trying to get a back-to-back championship. It'll be someone else, and we do hope it'll be someone obviously deserving with no instance. So let's see what Canada's got for us today as the rain continues to bucket the hell down here in Canada. A couple cars already flying out the pits as I can quickly get all my data set up nice and lovely. Couple drivers on the round, including this man, Websy, in the Williams, flying around lovely on the intermediates. He's one of the favourites for this season now that Yusuf has taken a bit of a backseat. He's still racing today for the Sauber team, but yeah, it's very honoured having the reigning champion back out, but the show must go on. As he comes across the wall of champions, a little bit touching on the grass there. We're going to see if Websy can set a great banker lap here in Canada. Comes across the first corner, smooth as a baby's bottom. This man in the Williams may want to have my children if he does a good lap. But let's see, we can come into sector. The middle part of sector 1, my apologies. It's a seemingly smooth car he's driving right now, flying around the track. It is very lovely in these tricky conditions. A little bit wide, almost straight on the wall a little bit. Game audio very soft. My bad. Let me see what I can do really quick. Alright, let's see how that goes. Let me know, Battlecat, mate, if that's all good. But Websy's flying around into the lovely back straight here, just zipping around every morsel of rain on those tyres. He comes across the wall of champions, rides the curve a little bit, but it's all good. Speaking of all good, he's actually he's actually bugging me off. My bad car. Anyway, next man to cross line, Tyler. This absolute legend. Thank you, mate. Love that. Tyler crossed the line with 21.1, a decent starting lap, as Toddy will cross the line now with a 22.4. Thank you, bro. Thank you, mate. Ollie Stevens crossed the line with 21.7. That's about 6/10 off, and he's completely just gone middle of track for absolutely no reason. For the means, Yusuf showing why he is the reigning champion with a 19.8. That's around just 1.5-ish seconds No, I'm completely wrong. I need more math. Anyway, Saw City with a 1:21.5. He raced in another league earlier, PRL. I'm not supposed to say anything about it, but I did see his race. It was a nice little finish from him. Fat Cat Bat. These are very long name. Jesus. He sets a 19.6. Great lap for him. And Farmer Sam 20.3. I just missed that. These are all good from that man, Josh McLeod, I'm guessing is his name, from how long his name is, unless it's McClough. Please do tell me how to pronounce that. As it Jammy Donuts leaves the session, unfortunate for them. Cam crossed the line with a 23.0, decent time, but not obviously quick enough than the 19s were saying. But I'm sure he can improve a lot. Anyway, who is going to come across and zip their car around? It's going to be Zoc flying in with a 20.3. That is just over a tenth, beating out Farmer Sam. There's a train of cars is happening here. One of them is a Jakash Mash, or I'm not going mashed potatoes. He is on an invalidated outlap, so he's going to fly around and zip his car absolutely everywhere. And it's going to be really cracker, see absolutely everyone to fly. And Fraser with a 19.9 caution in Sector 2, I believe. That may just be one of the cars letting another driver out of the way. And Toddy was at a 21.8 if I didn't miss anyone else. Fun. Gonna be a nice clean race today as Cam sets a 20.8. Lovely for him, definitely massive improvement. Joshy sets a 20.4. Love that. Jammy Donuts is back, love to see it. And so we'll cross the line next. It's gonna be Websy, who sets a 19.7. Brilliant from that man on screen. Tyler moves up. I was going to say into... Oh, he's not going to move over. He's actually going to fly around on his finishing lap now, maybe, unless I'm just clinically retarded. Anyway, Yusuf sets provisional pole with a 19.5 there. Good lap from him. Jono is going to start his final be on board with him the entire way through up into the first couple corners. The Alpine does brilliantly to let the Mercedes by. Jono's going to fly around this part 2, turn 3, Fat Cat Batman. What a name, with a 19.2 provisional pole for now. Just going to zip around this lovely, this very, very strong left-hander. Zips out brilliantly using the DRS. DRS is not in play because the gods of heaven above have decided that it will be raining so hard that it is going to be a national tragedy if someone even opens the bloody plaque. Anyway, Jono flying into the Canadian hairpin, zipping around and taking every exit like it's his last, zipping it and taking the line lovely. You can see the rain falling down. He's just crashing through the back straight. It's going to be a very, very wet weekend. Rain expected to be in the quali and the race itself as Jono takes the curving. Simply lovely into the Wall of Champions. Zips across the line with a 19.3. A brilliant time for the Mercedes. As a couple other drivers swapping positions everywhere. Mashed Potatoes now on board with him. He's about to cross the line. Slaps it with 22.0, our slowest time so far, but there is definitely room for that man to improve. And we got Jammy Donuts on an outlap, having a little bit of problems with connections, but outlaps are outlaps and fun is fun. I believe there is one more driver to cross the line. It's Cam. I think he was on a cooldown, but he is. Or maybe not. Or maybe he is, you never know. Then we're going to be on board with Jammy Donuts as Websy sets the fastest time, the 19.1. There's definitely a bigger, drier line forming. The rain may be slowing down a tad, or because there's about 20 cars trying to zip through the same exact line at the same exact speed as we see Jammy Donuts zipping through the end of sector 1, coming in to what would be the DRS section point, but there's none. Then you hear the tyres actually scraping along the ground. That's how you know there's so much traction. Jesus Christ. You gotta love the BNT in the chat. I don't know what it means, but we're balling. Anyway, lovely right to left hander here taken, brilliant over curbing. Burn a little bit of the DRS coming down to the very tight hairpin. There's going to be a lot of incidents, I'm guessing, today out these hairpins. Someone may or may not have decided to send it and smack into another car because they feel like it. Anyway, Jammy Donuts is flying down the back straight here, zipping and burning all the DRS as they go around 315 kilometers an hour up to the Wall of Champions. Brakes lovely. It is very nicely taken there. Coming up to the line now, what can they set on the timing screens? A 18.9. That is the fastest lap, and there's only 7 minutes left in qualifying. Jammy Donuts leading the way. And that's a lot of drivers coming into the pits to change off their intermediates. The next man to cross the line, which will be Tyler on an outlap. Behind him, you have one of the Saubers, I believe, is Yusuf, who's also on an outlap. The Mercedes just behind him. It is Toddy, who is 7 tenths up on his time, but he's just on none, doing a cool down lap. Behind him, we've got Fat Cat Batman flying through. He may be on low fuel, but does he have enough to kick it in? It looks like he's just going to come into the pits and abort that lap. There's it behind him. I believe that's an Alpine. That is an Alpine of Ollie Stevens, who we're going to run on board with him as he's going to start his flying lap currently in P14 or 20.9. There is definitely room for improvement there as Cam has left the session, unfortunate for him. On the board with Ollie Stevens as he comes to turn 3. Lovely braking and usage of the curving into the little right and left hander, and using a bit of the ERS, and he's coming down to this very tricky part of the track. But he makes it look absolutely effortless. He's going to slip up from the rear as he's actually coming out of that exit, but he manages to maintain control of his car the whole way through. Coming up to my personal favourite, the Canada Incident corner. If you know, you know. Anyway, Ollie Stevens just fly through this next little straight coming up to the Canadian hairpin. A little bit of a slip up there on the wheel just as I cut off his dashboard, but it seems all good from the man in the Alpine. He's going to flick it through the last corner of caution in sector 3. That is a Ferrari letting, I believe, one of the cars past Yusuf. Sets at 18.7. Someone stop that man. Anyway, Ollie Stevens walking set on the timing sheets. He's currently P15. He puts it. He's a 3/10 improvement, but no cigar for that man. Still in the same position he started. Let's see who is next to cross the line. It would be Farmer Sam, but he is on an invalidated lap. Just taking it nice and slowly around the Wall of Champions. Behind him you have, is that a Williams? It is a Williams, a Websy on the outlap, so he'll be flying around with no fucks given. Fraser Clegg just decides to chuck it into the pit, like no regard for human life. And he will come off those 3-lap old intermediate tyres. As we flick through cars, if I can do my job, it will be a Fat Cat Batman next to cross the line. He's on an outlap. Behind him is his teammate of Yusuf, who I believe is on a cool down. He's probably going to dive into the pit lane. He does, into the pits. See you later. We're on board with that Websy here, currently P3, coming through the part of sector, the starting part of sector 2. He's going to use all his arrows and slap it down the Canada Incident corner. No incident for him. As there is a caution in sector 3, there's Mercedes probably running low on fuel as a Ferrari's going to slap it. Is Joshy. Oh my lord. Alright. Please release your own coffee beans, sir, and I will surely get a nice steaming hot cup of Joe. Anyway, enough about coffee. Webbsy's driving like he's on fucking 15 cups of it. He's that fucking quick coming up to the Wall of Champions. Apologise for swearing, this is family friendly. Websy's going to come across, there's a little bit of a slip up coming out of the Wall of Champions. He slaps it with an 18.2. The rain is still falling, but the dry line is absolutely, it's very quick. This is almost running on hards if you're new to the game, times wise. Like, man, or I might be on here. As we're on board here with Fat Cat Batman, Yusuf's teammate, what can he do as he crosses the line now? He gets a 2/10 improvement, but doesn't improve on his position. He's around 500th of a second in front of Toddy, who's trying to catch him for P5 here. As a couple more drivers going to come across the line now. We're on board with Sir Joshy, who's going to take the Wall of Champions like an absolute champ himself, flicking it through the corners, lovely, darting through and gets it up into provisional P2 with 2 minutes left to go with a 18.445. Lovely time for him. As we believe next across the line coming out of a hairpin is one of the Williams cars. It is Fraser Clegg on an outlap. Behind him you've got the only Alpine in the race. If I can actually flick to them. Actually no, it's just Bosey. Never mind. Hush my mouth. Hush my mouth indeed. We're going to be on board with Fraser Clegg as he's going to fly around the first couple of quarters. Caution in sector 3. I believe Websy had a little bit of slip up coming out of the Wall of Champions, but he's all fine and dandy. He's still on pole by 2/10 of a second. As you see, Fraser Clegg throw it around everywhere. Want to be on board with Fat Cat Batman as he crosses the line now, puts it on provisional pole with an 18.050. We're definitely getting into the 17s. Someone maybe like a Yusuf who's flying on his final outlap here. Maybe some more room for improvement. He's currently 7/10 behind his teammate. As we get next across the line, if I can flick through absolutely everyone, I've just found my job. It was Saucity who's going to start his final flying lap. Jakash Max is going to come across the line. Now he's got a 4/10 improvement, slaps himself into P13 with a 20.4. He's not going to have time to do another lap, so that'll be him done and dusted. Behind him, I believe Farmer Sam's is starting out lap now, just in time of the cut-off window. There's 2 Mercedes about across the line, Toddy and Jono both starting their outlaps as J Cloud, I believe, is going to start his flying lap. Behind him, you'll want a Ferrari Tyler size to retire in the pit lane. Cars are flying absolutely everywhere, and you just wonder who's going to come out on top here. As we're on board with McJammy Donuts on an outlap, cars flicking through everywhere. We're going to be on board with one of the Sauers who's just about across the line. Now it is in Fat Cat, who is still on provisional pole, but behind him you've got his teammate Yusuf, who is 500th of a second up. He won't beat his teammate as he just slipped up into the Wall of Champions, but he does put it. Currently a front row lockout for the Sauber boys, as Zoc and Cam can't improve on their times. Next across the line, I believe, is Saucity, who can't really improve, stuffed himself into P10. One of the Ferraris going to come to the pits, mashed potatoes, is coming into the pits. I believe that's the Alpine of Ollie Stevens. He's come out of nowhere to cross the line in P11, a decent time at the end for him. Another Red Bull's going to cross the line. Now it's Farmer Sam in the V-Carb, actually puts himself into P4, and they got both Mercedes front and center. Jono beats his teammate out for P5. Teddy goes to P8, now knocked down to P9 because of Josh pipping him. Jesus Lord. Anyway, Websy, can he steal the show here? No, he can't. 1 second off his teammate. There's Paul right at the death. I completely forgot who that was. That looked like maybe another V-Carb stealing pole position. It's Fraser in the Williams coming across the line at the very last second. Fraser Clegg with the quality lap of his life, like Max Verstappen last weekend, out of nowhere takes the pole away from Fat Cat Batman who is settling for P2, his teammate in P3, Websy, almost like a Williams sandwich in P4, Farmer Sam P5, Jono P6, so Joshua P7, they're both McLarens P8 and 9, and Toddy rounding out the top 10 as I take a screenshot of absolutely everyone. There is your quali grid sorted. I almost lost my marbles. Holy shit. I should have washed his lap. I am appalled at my own things. Anyway, it has been an absolute wicked quali session. I am pumped up on adrenaline, and it is fun. As we look towards, here we are in Canada, the 5 red lights, and it's lights and away we go here. That was a very preemptive start. Ollie Stevens getting a move up already, actually moving up a couple positions as Saucity darts down the order. Fraser Clegg and Fat Cat Batman already locking alongside each other as Fraser gets the move done, keeping his P1 for now. Jamie and Josh in the back here having a snap. There's a V-carb going off. That will be Farmer Sam having a little moment, doing almost like a Sebastian Vettel a couple of years ago to Lewis Hamilton. There's carnage already at the back of the grid as Joshy loses yet again another position, but he gains it back on Jamie Donuts, going out wide, but losing the position yet again as Toddy gets past Josh. As we could look at the position changes, the top 6 hasn't changed yet, but Jamie gets 1 place, as does Toddy, as does Ollie Stevens, who's fighting with Zoc here. And he got Cam moving up 2. Tyler has actually dropped down 5 positions off the rip. That's not what you want to see from someone with enough pace and experience as that man. Ollie Stevens dropping down the grid to P14, caught up in a bit of a moment at the Canadian hairpin. But that is very unfortunate for a man who did so well as Yusuf gets past on his teammate. Fat Cat Batman coming in for the Wall of Champions. Fraser Clegg leads the way as we're on here for lap 2. Saucity and Cam swapping positions. There's going to be a fight. Saucity gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting when he comes back quickly to one of the fastest drivers on the track with Farmer Sam running in P5. It's a massive train behind him. There's just action all up and down. I can't speak. I'm going to lose my damn voice. Farmer Sam coming out of turn 3 and 4, flying, trying to get as much traction to get in these very wet conditions. You do wonder, is this going to be a 1 or a 2 stopper today? With 35 laps of racing and rain expected up and down today's session, Farmer Sam is trying to catch up to Websy. 4P4 coming into the canter, into the corner. It seems all fine and dandy for both of these drivers. No DRS the entire session because, again, the heavens above have opened up, and it just seems like a long train is imminent. It's going to be purely on pace and just waiting for mistakes here. Seeing the mistakes, Farmer Sam's rolling the curve a little bit too aggressively, coming out of the hairpin, and I'll actually the advantage back into Websy's hands as they're coming up to the Wall of Champions. Nothing seeming so egregious or irregular yet, as you did just see Websy take the grass a little bit. Yusuf getting the fastest lap, Batman getting the fastest lap with 21.9. They're just trading blows the top 3 right now. Websy made his pick up the pace just a little bit as Farmer Sam is still hot on his tail. We're on board now with Jono, the car behind, who's in P6, watching this concurrent battle as Farmer Sam seems to edge closer and closer to Websy. We're going to quickly flick down to Sorcery, who's going to have a rundown. Speaking of rundown, he's run down himself into the wall, trying to catch Cam for P12. He does have a 3-second time penalty, I believe, for track limits. He does. So that's going to put his race over into jeopardy early on. But I wouldn't be surprised if he would be, he wouldn't be the only one getting time penalties. I fumble over my words completely. Saucy is going to try and get a move done here on Cam. As he's going to come up to the hairpin, this very tricky braking zone. Bit of a slip up there from the Aston of Cam, and that's forced him to go wide. Almost a little bit of contact there between Saucity and Cam, as Saucity has to move to the inside line. The very tight inside line there to avoid the Aston rejoining, and it's going to be a drag race to the Wall of Champions, but Cam will keep his position, and these two will be battling up and down the field as Toddy actually gets overtaken by an audacious move from Josh, who's dropped down, or not dropped down, he's actually P9, so he's got back re-qualified. Yusuf is still having a scrap with his teammate, who's also having a scrap with Fraser, who's just cruising around. Lovely, like it's a nice Sunday drive, even though it is a Sunday, or choice by me. Anyway, on board that green fluoro, lovely kick, and let's just see if they can recreate a Nico Hulkenberg, who in Silverstone broke his duck of around 13 years and 239 races. There's a little bit of contact there from Yusuf, and just ran to the back of the Williams. But you do wonder, will any of the kicks break their duck just like Nico Hulkenberg did last weekend? 239 races, no podiums, now one for the man from Germany, and you just saw how emotional he was. Let's see if Fat Cat Batman can get a Nico Hulkenberg-like podium. Yusuf gets the fastest lap with 21.5. My voice is starting to go ever so slowly. I should not have taken this, but yet again, the show must go on. Let's see what his drivers can do. And quickly cut the Jono back. It's still in P6, still up the back of Farmer Sam. Farmer Sam clips the wall a little bit, trying to tend to his herd, trying to keep the his rabid sheep Jono behind, trying to nestle him in back into his pen, but Jono's not having any of it. He's around 0.3 of a second behind him. He's still chasing that little farmer around, waiting for a mistake, maybe a little door opening in another pen to maybe a shortcut through his farm. But it just seems like for now Jono's have to keep chasing him around, trying to find any sort of opening. But it doesn't seem to be helping him at all. The 3:10, the gap is still slowly there. You can see the slipstream slowly coming in. That gap is slowly going down to 2.5 tenths. Make that 1/10 coming into the Wall of Champions. Tried a little look down the inside, but nothing as of yet. As Zoc is actually going to move down. There's a bit of a slip up. Holy hell from Toddy. Thank you, ads. How are you doing, sunshine? Zoc just saw Toddy slip up in front of him and thought, holy fuck, I wish that was me. And maybe he could have got the position, but you never know. Toddy keeps P10, Zoc moves up, well not moves up, he's moved up from P14 to P11, fighting for just any points. People really love scraping that wall these days. Think of the painters and the advertisers, people. They paid a lot of money to have that wall and you're scraping your dainty little wheels against them. That could cause a bloody puncture if you're not bloody careful, mate. Anyway, voice break. We're still on board with Zoc. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name, but that's how I'm going to pronounce his name. If I am wrong, please tell me and tell me to shut the hell up. I will do that immediately. Anyway, coming around the hairpin, you've got a lovely train of cars from Toddy all the way. Was literally just Toddy and Zoc. Toddy's trying to fight Josh, he's trying to fight Joshy, he's trying to fight Jammy Donuts, he's trying to find time on Jono, who's trying to get past Farmer Sam and his little sheep pen. who's trying to get onto Wesley, who's in the battle with Bo Selbers, who's trying to get to Fraser, as Eustace sets the fastest lap with a 121.4. I've just waffled my head up so hard, I can't even think of what I'm saying. Jesus Christ, and cut back with the sheep himself, Jono, coming into turn 3. Just seemingly trying to find any sort of a slipper from the farmer in front, who's still trying to heddle him. Heddle? No, that is a new word. Jesus Christ. Heddle. I don't know what it means. Search it up. Jono is trying to find any sort of time here. 5/10 is the gap. You know, Jones having a bit of a slip up coming into the Canada into the corner, but all is well in love and war. But this war is going to be a long battle with Toddy into 3 seconds. I believe for track limits. Zoc gets past Toddy. There's a safety car out. I think that's Toddy, he's lost his front wing, and that is why the safety car is going to Toddy crashing into a wall somewhere, completely losing his front wing. And at the safety car is coming out, it's going to bunch up the field. All the 2 people with time penalties, Toddy himself and Saucity, are going to have a long battle to face here, especially for Toddy, with a 3-second time period for track limits, plus needing to pit for wing damage. Speaking of pitting, Fraser has come in. It's pronounced Zox. Am I saying it right? Zox, like sock with an Z. Anyway, Toddy, sorry, is actually retired from the Grand Prix early on. That is unfortunate for the Mercedes man. You do wonder what actually happened to poor little Todd. As Fraser's going to drop down to P10, I'm going to quickly get a drink of water. I'll be right back. My apologies for that, we are back, and I have had my lovely sip of water. The safety car is flying around track here, bunching up the field. Currently leading is a 1-2 for the Sauber boys, Yusuf and Fat Cat Batman. We've got P3 for Websy rounding up the podium. Behind him, Farmer Sam with his little sheep Jono for P4 and 5. We've got Jammy Donuts in P6. I don't know why Donut is driving a lovely orange cream car, but we do cross over that. You got Sir Joshy, obviously knighted by the Queen herself when she was alive. You got Josh in the other orange creamsicle donut. You got Zox in P9 and Fraser, who recently pit off his first stint of enters in P10, the pole sitter from out of nowhere with an RKO. Cam just off the top 10, P11 got Tyler in P12, Saucity with a 3-second time penalty in P13. Mashed potatoes. Again, I don't know why we're getting foods, driving cars here, but mashed potatoes somehow driving a Ferrari has managed to get a drive-through penalty for what I'm guessing is speeding under either the VSC or yellow flags. It is speeding under the safety car. I don't know what acid VSC is. It's clearly a safety car. I can't see with my own eyes. And you got Ollie Stevens, the man here with one of the more normal names, down the bottom in P15, the only Alpine out on track. Only one retiree, Fernando Toddy, retiring in the pits after he initially calls a safety car somewhere in Sector 2, destroying his front wing and getting a 3-second time penalty to boot in the process. Unfortunate for Mr. Todd, as the lovely red safety car flies around. If you'd like to hear me in the chat, if you're extremely bored, Farmer Sam is better than Pepsi. Fucking hell, mate. Let's play a lovely little game. I know we're all fully functioning adults here. Let's play Who Would Get what the hell is going on? Sorry, Farmer Sam's just flying himself into the pits. I need to get off this detail thing that is really messing with my brain. A couple, hang on. Oh. So, people are coming to, the rain stopped. Okay, that is this is gonna be, very interesting. Now, the rain stopped, and a couple drivers, if we can just quickly, if I can do my job, if I can quickly look at the tyres here, you've got Tyler, Farmer Sam, Fraser, I've just watched that, and Cam all pitting onto slick tyres, and you've got Ollie Stevens coming out again for another set of intermediates. You've got Josh, Mashed Potatoes, and Saucity on the blogger intro as everyone else. My bad, holy heck. On their first set of inters. Definitely Peak Life being a Sauber TP. I was going to ask who is it. Oh, okay, well, they're not going to wait for Ollie Stevens to fly around on track. The safety cars that come in this lap, Ollie's going to have to. Typical on the wrong tyres. You're not wrong, Chief. Then again, I don't know what's happening anymore. Safety cars bunching up. Don't do an Oscar Piastri for the love of chicken crempies. When will Yusuf jump the gun here? Warming up his intermediates on a slowly drying track. The heavens have decided to close up, and it's going to be lights out almost. And Yusuf's going to dart himself into an early lead from his teammate. The green flag's going to fly around now. Overtaking is legal, as so is my passport, allegedly. Okay, enough for the jokes. We're back underway. Who knows who's on the right side at this point? Fraser gets past Farmer Sam, slipping up a little bit, and gets past Tyler, coming in to turn 3. What a move already from the Williams team. Some say Farmer Sam's pulled off a masterclass, going on the hards as opposed to the inters. Now the as opposed to the mediums, I should say. It is going to be a bloody ripper. I don't know what the odds are on, sir. I don't control the weather. Ollie Stevens gets in. Oh, Lord. Ollie Stevens slipping up out of the pits. Maybe it's not enough, not dry enough for the slicks, yet as shown by the near 5-second gap between Mashed Potatoes and Fraser for P10 and 11. As I try to find my damn voice, Jono, the sheep from Farmer Sam's paddock, has got him loose, found himself all the way up into P3 as Yusuf's going to come into pits off those intermediates. Jono is actually going to set the fastest lap for now, as we quickly look at it, if I can do my damn job. He has set the fastest lap at 19.1. The next fastest lap is Jammy Donuts with a 19.19, so it's 9, almost a tenth between those two. As carnage is absolutely everywhere. Yusuf's got him past Tyler and Cam out of the pit lane. We're going to be back on board with Farmer Sam's little sheep Jono. As I don't know why it still says a safety car. That is a visual glitch. That is, I love this game. Coming up to the Canadian Haven, you see the gaps really forming for the people who has pits and who hasn't. It's going to be a wicked, bloody thing. My bad. Sorry, Chief. We'll stick with that. Sorry. Sorry, Davo, mate. Anyway. No walkers. Love you, champ. Anyway, Jono's flying around now. He's neck and neck with Websy coming into the World Champions. Very clean racing. A little bit of a nudge, but rubbing is racing. Jono going to come around the outside, but on the inside, it's going to be Jammy Donuts trying to squeeze in a little bit on that outside line. Jono's going to have to give him a little bit of space, and that's to put Jammy Donuts into P3 from out of nowhere. As they're coming up to turn 3, DRS is maybe enabled as from Weatherman Stater in the weather box just across to my left. Is DRS going to be in play? Well, on board, it is in play. The rain is completely stopped. It is dry enough for slicks, meaning advantage to the people as Pete. We're still on board with the Jammy Donuts in the the orange creamsicle donut of a car as they're coming along to the Canadian hairpin. I really need to think of a better name. Come down on the back straight. DRS in. So now the rear wing is flapped open. Jono doesn't have DRS on Websy, but Jammy Donuts does, as they're both going to dive into pit, speeding in the pit lane for Fat Cat Batman, leading the race, coming into the pit. Josh now will be leading the race in the other orange donut creamsicle car, whatever I've called it. And that's going to knock Fraser up into P2 on those medium tyres. Yusuf dipping up. So many people at pit. That means the order's going to be swapped around. Cam is going to find himself from the bottom position to P6. 10 positions jumped up from one pit. So there's contact there between Cam and Jammy Donuts. And Jammy Donuts comes to the pits and he gets a seeds position to the McLaren. Very fair racing. Cam taken past turn 1. Tyler's retired from the session. He's crashed into the turn up into turn 3. We're gonna be on board quickly with you can just see the stricken wheel from the Haas coming around. Oh my lord, it's another safety car as Tyler's cooked it out of the second corner. Well, I don't know how bad his Cam Donny is, mate, but if you're shocked he's made it out of turn 1, I might as well be. So that's going to be a free pit stop rolling into runners, which I'm pretty sure is only one driver, Joshy Josh, who gets a free pit stop. This man is just been dealt an absolute lifeline coming into the pits, and he's come out on, I believe, fresh medium tyres. I mean, heat them up, not actually doing a safety car. I'm gonna have another swig of water. My bad, Chief. Oh, my throat is absolutely burning from how much yelling I've done. Oh my god. Alright, 13 seconds of time penalties as Josh dips out of the way of trying to crash into Farmer Sam. That's going to dent his race just that little bit more. As a safety car is going to fly around that beautiful... What kind of donut should we call that? A nice black forest donut maybe? Or are we thinking a lovely, just a standard strawberry? What do you like to think? Safety car playing a nice little game of Ring Around the Rosie, that beautiful Mercedes-AMG Sentinel driven by the one and only Burnt Mylander. Ollie is just having a nice stroll of himself around, I don't know, Lance, coming around the middle part of Sector 2 now. He's gonna flick it around and catch up to the mate of this pack real quickly. We're gonna have stops here. Ollie's made 5 stops. Did someone say Jenson Button? Because if someone said Jenson Button, Ollie Stevens is the winner of the Canadian Grand Prix. I don't make the rules. Anyway, most of the drivers have just sticking to that one stop for now. Fraser, Saucity and Mashed Potatoes making just the 2. And Ollie Stevens deciding to invest in the rest with Jenson Button strategy from 2011, I believe. As you look at the tyres, Fraser and Sam on 7-lap old mediums and hards respectively. And you've got Josh Hughes of Jono on the mediums, differing in laps driven. Jamie Donuts on the hards. More rain towards the end of the race, says Mr. Cat of Battles 99. Wink, wink. Just seems like a very interesting race already. You have to wonder, is what Mr. Cat Battle said true? The players have not moved yet, as we're currently halfway through this Grand Prix. We're on board with reigning world champion Yusuf in the kick Sauber. Of course, last season drove for the Green Machine Aston Martin. Shout out Ray for giving me a chance to actually race like last season. As the safety cars have come this lap, I ran out of water, meaning my throat's going to be more sore than Bonnie Blue after 2000 men. If you know, you know. Anyway, apologies for the non-family friendly nonsense. I can't be stopped. Unless I get fired. So, yeah, I'm expecting my P45 at the door any minute after this. It's like David Evelseki getting axed. Thank you, mate. Thank you. I know if I'm getting fired, I've got someone enjoying my commentary. Anyway, safety cars flying in now. We're going to be on board with Farmer Samus Fraser in front of him. He's going to lead the way. The man who got pole from out of nowhere. Can he snatch a win from out of nowhere? Still bunching up the field. When will he jump? He's jumped now. I don't have wages, mate. I do this for free. I should get paid. Anyway, Farmer Sam's flying through onto the back of Fraser as he gets a 3-second time play for track limits. That's going to help him add all you can see carnage already into the first couple of corners. Josh Mashed Potatoes has already got a second gap to find. Websy and Joshy are battling into turn 3. Now comes turn 4 and 5. What can be done here as they're on board with the Ferrari taking that apex? A little bit wide. Zox getting a 3-second time play. Jono, the little sheep from Farmer Sam's fence, getting up into P5. Contact! Holy heck! Farmer Sam's hit the wall, dropping down the order. There may be contact between Jamie Donuts or Jono with him, as Jono is going to defend for his life against the man in front, Yusuf. Zilla's laughing in the chat. Someone call Godzilla, because that man needs some anger management. Holy hell. John on the back straight now. Jono, can he attempt to move? That's the World Champions already got this to yield to P4. Fraser still leads the way here. The 2-second fair thing. I don't know what they say with it. Farmer Sam is going to retire in. He's going to retire from the session. The little Jono, his little sheep's going to prance around in P4. That's the name of a running thing from now on, I swear. Someone please tell me to shut them out. I will gladly do that. Authorized by training camera. Anyway, Sword City, 3-second time penalty for track limits. Farmer Sam has decided to go tend to his other cattle, and so he's hopped out of the car, gone back to his pens. Unfortunate for the farmer himself, the old wise man in the VTR, our third retiree after Tyler decided to thunder smack his car into the wall after turn 2, and Toddy retiring in the pit after causing the initial safety car at the start of the race. As still on board with John Bones Jones longevity. There's a lot of pace to get. Josh gets the moves on Yusuf. Actually, both Jono and Josh gets the moves on Yusuf. DRS flying through. Dono is cheering for one of the Ferraris to at least get points. I can't speak. My bad. Jesus, my apologies. Fat Cat Batman, 3 second time delay for track limits. Someone stop him. Jono now a 3 second time delay for track limits. Ollie now with a 3 second. What is going on, boys? Let me have a break for once. Let me calm my fucking voice down. Apologies for swearing again. Holy Toledo Rockets. Go Toledo. I just heard someone hit the wall. Anyway, that's just my imagination. Fraser still leading the way. Josh and Jono ran out your podium positions as you made a long train behind this man in the orange creamsicle donut of the McLaren, Josh McLeod or McLaren or whatever his last name is. I can't tell. There's going to be a long train now. Jono's going to take that outside line and scoop past the McLaren, jumping up into P3, braking lovely for the World Champions. Josh now gets a 3 second time for track limits. So that means Yusuf, who comes around the outside, says thank you very much. I'll take you back into the first corner. What a move from the reigning World Champion, who's going to have to carry Fat Cat Batman on his back here, running in P3 as opposed to P12 with the 16 seconds of penalties. My bad, sir. People are getting so many penalties as Yusuf does to slip out as his car settles in for entry of that corner. That's to put the advantage back to Josh, who's on the back of the sour. But no cigar for him to be on board. Jono, who's caught up all the way to Fraser, coming up into the Canadian hairpin. Oh, lovely braking from both these drivers. You can see Fraser's actually harvesting his battery as opposed to Jono, who's burning the living daylights out of it. No burning from Fraser's. Jono's going to take the lead of the race. I am stunned for words. Jono flying around the Wall of Champions like it was nothing. He's moved up 5 positions for his provisional P6 at the start of the race. And who saw this coming? Jono, the little sheep, broke free from Farmer Sam's pen and has decided to zip around the track like his Wile E. Coyote chasing the bloody Roadrunner. Anyway, we're going to be on board now with Josh McLeod, or Josh McLovin. I'm calling him Josh McLovin from now on. Sorts it gets a 3 second time play for track limits, and we quickly look at the penalties themselves. Jono with 3 seconds, Sir Joshy, Zox, and Ollie Stevens all with 3. You have Mashed Potatoes with 6, Saucity with 9, and 16 seconds of the penalties, and a driver of the day, Fat Cat Batman, with 16. Anyway, Jono still leads the way 1 second exactly as he crosses the line. Fraser didn't have the rundown of a lifetime with the double DRS zone into the World Champions flying through. It's going to be a long straight here. He's catching up fairly quick. 12.09 is the fastest lap to beat on the medium compound. Fraser's going to slip a little bit because of the dirty air from that Mercedes. Apologies if I don't speak, I'm just saying what is little of my damn voice. Bloody hell, he's gonna crack a race, and we're only 12 laps towards the end. I don't want it to end, to be honest. There's carnage up and down the track, and yeah, let's hope my voice doesn't die by lap 30, otherwise I won't be there for the final couple of laps. As you saw, Yusuf lock up a little bit maybe from the rears, overheating Josh slips up a little bit out of the exit of the Canadian hairpin as they're coming up now to the DRS straight. Advantage to the orange creamsicle, slapping himself into P3, but with a 3-second time penalty to boot for the McLaren, and he now has his sights set on Fraser, who's still having a lovely battle. What is going on down here? So many position changes, and yet I have no idea what just happened. Cam's jumped up to dead, he says jumped down to a dead last. The running driver snapping out a little bit from Mr. Cam. Fun for the whole family. I think Cam's going to slip up somewhere that's caused him to lose a crap ton of positions, unfortunately for him. Zoc was racing time penalty for track limit. I believe that is his second of the race here, 15.26. Fraser and Cam were the most worn tyres with 14, as Zoc almost had to slip up out of the hairpin. Fun. We'll go the cars as we're coming across to the Wall of Champions. Jono still leading the way here. There's a small DRS train with Fraser and Josh finally being on board with the Williams here, trying to catch up to the Mercedes, who's harvesting the ever-loving heckle out of his ERS, as Ollie gets another 3-second time penalty to boot for his troubles. Let's see, can Fraser pounce on that Mercedes is coming around? We'll actually double check quickly. How much does Fraser have on the one? Is it one warning? One for track limits there. He's got just looks like the one for now. As we're looking through all the laps, unless my eyes deceive me, he's only got the one. So brilliant for Mr. Fraser. Yeah, just seems like the one. Good on him. Body urine. So Fraser needs a body miracle with Cam with the session. I will double check if I've got him added really quick. Farm sim. Josh. It's McLaughlin, okay. That's my bad. I've just the things I do for this sport. Anyway, I don't have Cam added, unfortunately. But I'm going to fly around now. Fraser is around 1.8 seconds now behind Jono, leading the race in that Mercedes. Used to get a 3-second time penalty for track limits, and Jamie Donuts and Webbs are the only ones who don't have a penalty. So it's been a jolly good day. Oh, Cam was on a penalty. Fun for the whole bloody family. I heard a wall getting hit twice. I'm not going insane. Anyway, caution sector 2. Zoc! Hello! What are you doing there, mate? You can't park there, sir. You better let this car fire, mate. You better let him fly, you better let him fly. Lock up from Ollie Stevens. Almost a little bit touching on the rear. As they're on the rear, I am now positioned on the rear wing of Zoc, who is going to try and catch mashed potatoes. That is one of the most dangerous jobs in Formula 1. The guy sitting on top of the rear wing. To get the view, Josh is going to stick his nose in with Fraser, who's dropped down to P3 at the time I was looking back at Zoc's. So Fraser is going to throw himself and get a 3-second time post advantage back to Jono for now, because that 3-second gap to Yusuf is all he needs. Jamie Donuts at this point could be looking at a surprise podium here. So you never know what can happen. 20 people in the session, woohoo, bring out the fucking confetti. Apologies for swearing. Bring out the cheerleaders. I don't know. What would be more family friendly than confetti? I don't know. Bring out the birthday cake. It's someone's birthday somewhere, and we're celebrating whoever that mysterious person is. over cars again, coming into World Champions. My voice is slowly dying. Oh my lordy lord. Fraser Clegg, I can't speak. Fraser flying around to find Yusuf. Just any small mistake from the kick Sauber and it'll be an advantage to the Williams as Ollie Stevens gets past Mashed Potatoes. Both Astons are dead last 12 and 13 of the running cars. Very awkward if you're Ray. You shouldn't have left me, mate, I'm kidding. Yeah. Fun for the whole family. Lap 28, 76% chance to run the next 10 minutes. I don't think it's going to be enough. Maybe halfway through the last lap for the rain to kick in. It's just a little bit of the bright blue sky there as I seem to have a solid network. Potato gets past all you see here. I apologise for my voice going very unenthusiastic. I just need to save what I have left and not hope my voice goes to absolute rock bottom. But I'm still here giving it my all, just without the yelling and the swearing as much. Actually, I think it's more than I've said words today. English is a fun language. We're on board with Fraser, who's trying to get by to Yusuf, who's slowly losing time to Jono, the little man, sheep humanoid from Mercedes. That's going to put a smile on the Mercedes TP face, and it's going to put a smile on my face because I never thought I'd see a little lamb drive an F1 car, let alone win it, from Farmer Sam's paddock. So on board with the Williams of Fraser, who's got that run down now onto Yusuf. Can get a move on coming into the World Champions. No, he can't. He has to wait for this next DRS zone of the World Champions. A little bit running off the curb there. When a quick look at the tyres as he's coming up his rear end. 2 stops just for a couple of drivers. Ollie's still with 5, and even though that massive time difference, we're going to quickly go on board with him. Actually, he's on board trying to get past Mashed Potatoes. He makes it look easy. And that is a lovely result of fresher tyres. Well, fresher, harder compound tyres, which would say. Those 18 lap, the 16 lap means they're definitely dead. Zoc gets his fastest lap with 12.0 on 3 lap old mediums. And Jono's on 16 lap old mediums. Yusuf on 18. Fraser 20 lap old mediums. Josh on 15 lap old mediums. Jamie and Joshy on 16 lap old hards, Felicity and PA on 16 lap old hards, 16 lap old mediums, Websy and Fat Cat Batman along with Mashed Potatoes, and then down in the pecking order, Zoc and Cam all both on 3 lap old medium compound. I've just missed Fraser Dart past Yusuf. I need to be fired and sacked. If you're listening to this, Battle Cat, Bro Surf. Contact there, Josh, you silly boy. I'm not sure if you got wing damage. I swear I saw damage from a car. Don't tell me I'm saying things. I'm also a schizophrenic. My lordy lord. Anyway, Fraser is running P2. I just saw the biggest cold front in my life. It shivered down my spine. That's because there's 4 laps to go. And Jono is still winning. Fat Cat Batman gets past Felicity, but Fat Cat Batman also has in my about 16 seconds, 19 now. He's at 19 seconds of penalties. Oh, where have you been? If you're just checking in, Carnage. I don't know about the rain. Then again, oh, that is rain. Okay. So, I know there was a 78% chance or whatever Battlecat said in the next 10 minutes. He was right. It is raining with these last 3 laps, and people are going to stick it out. You can see Fat Cat slipping out a little bit. Yusuf almost slipped out a little bit as well. It's going to be a drag race at the end, but the rain is falling yet again in Canada. You can just see the rain is picking up now, actually. It could be Inter's levels. Yusuf just slipping around. He's got Jammy Donuts behind him. The DRS is still in, so I wouldn't pit yet unless it says DRS disabled. It's still technically slick weather conditions despite all the slippage everywhere. This could be the greatest 2-lap drag you could possibly see in your life. Jammy Donuts moves to the side and Yusuf takes it through. You wonder who is anyone going to pit. There's DRS, there's caution in sector 2. Someone has gone off somewhere, I don't know. Jesus. No one's pitting. No one's pitting, and Yusuf is just taking this the chicane like normal. Another 3 seconds for him. Jammy Donuts. Jammy Donuts. With no penalties. Could be looking at a P3. DRS is disabled right now. With 3 laps to go. That is definite into his territory. Thank you, Mr. Campbell Adams, the man who made the Super Cup bidding, I'm sure. Oh, contact Zoc, 10-second penalty, speeding in the pit lane. Not going to help his cause at all as Ollie Stevens and Mashed Potatoes come to the pit with him. It is definitely Inter's weather, and that's going to mean, oh, Jono slips out a little bit. He's got a 5-second gap between him and the car behind of Fraser, who's actually gaining a lot, and I mean a lot of time as the rain continues to fall here. It is just a wonder when are all these drivers going to pit. Joshy gets and Webster having this massive scrap coming out of the World Champions, the Canadian Hairpin. Josh moves up provisionally on track on P5 is Jono. Jono stayed out. Jono has stayed out. Fraser's going to pit. Jammy Donuts going into the fridge. The pits. Yusuf is staying out as well. There's going to be a massive battle for this as we're on the second last lap. Josh is going to dive around the inside, trying to get the switchback, but Yusuf says, nah, I'll take that, thank you very much. And even though Josh has the inside wide, it's just too little of a traction. The rain is just dipping down and down and down. Jono is taking it as smooth as he can to not lose all the traction, but he's slowly losing time in the process. He's got 9 seconds in front. Should have boxed ball. You never know who has pit and where are the positions. Fraser has come up. He's at pit and gone down now. It's a P5 as he's trying to catch up to show Joshy in these final couple laps. Fraser cutting the chicane like a little boy. Holy hecky wacky doodah. It is time for Carnage. Drive down the inside from Fraser Clegg, moving us up into P4. He's got Joshy just in front, though it is definitely into his territory. Fraser is driving like a man possessed right now. He's back up into the podium positions, but how long will it stay like that because of his time penalty? It is only 3 seconds. Looking good for him. He just needs to get 3 seconds in front of McJammy Donuts on this last lap. As Jammy Donuts is on fresh Inter tyres. There's going to be a battle between them two. Jono still leading the way as Fraser is going to catch up to Yusuf, who's stuck on those slick, worn tyres. Can Fraser get anything on Jono? Jono needs a massive mess up. As you can just see from the track map, he's coming just out of this corner now. Fraser is gaining so much time on the intermediate tyres. It's going to be an absolute battle here as Jono comes up now to the Canada into the corner, going at about half his throttle, currently 130-ish kilometres an hour. You can just see Fraser coming out of the corner as well. Will it be too late for the Williams, or will it be too soon to pit for Jono on the last lap? Did he make a mistake of not boxing? You just see Fraser there coming around the Canadian hairpin, and it's going to be a drag race to the straight. It's like you've got DRS down the back straight. Is it going to be enough for Jono to keep his win? I think so. It's a second gap between both of them. The braking is very minimal. Jono and Fraser to the line. They're side by side coming up to it. Fraser takes the lead of the race and takes the win from Jono. Jammy Donuts is going to win. I forgot about the time penalties. Jammy Donuts, one of the cleanest drivers on track, snatches it at the last second from Fraser's hands. What an ending to this race. Jamie Donuts with the win. Fraser and Jono rounding out the podium positions. Still an absolutely cracker drive from both of them. Websy will finish off P4, Yusuf P5, Josh and Joshy P6 and 7. Ollie Stevens with a great recovery drive in P8, Sauce City P9, Mashed Potatoes P10, Zoc P11, Fat Cat P12, and Cam, who's flying around the back straight. Absolute, just not the day for the Aston Martin team at all, but I'm not sure. There was just to be some great points on offer. I forgot how to do. Please, someone take a screenshot of that because I have been having an aneurysm. Holy shit! Sorry for swearing. I can't do my job. Oh my lordy lord! I think that's worth losing my voiceover. Anyway, oh, Jamie Donuts, that man on stream with his little donut dance is going to come home to take the win. A full oceanic podium, 2 Aussies and a Kiwi. For all we know, that could be a spy. Anyway, Jamie Donuts in the orange creamsicle car of the McLaren takes the win in his first round in Canada, and the podium celebrations are well and truly underway. Everyone dousing Boston cream filling everywhere, over the fans, over each other, over Andrea Stella down below. It's a win for McLaren and a win for Jamie Donuts, who also takes driver of the day. What a race from that man. As fastest lap goes to Zoc in P11. There is your race results. It has been an absolute pleasure to call this race from start to finish. I'm your commentator, Gon Sniper. I thank you all very well for attending this stream, and I hope to see you boys next week, hopefully with a co-commentator on the Sundays. Toodaloo, you bloody legends. Have a good weekend.